friends of the Northern Entertainment, and welcome to another episode of my Car Mechanics Simulator 2015 Let's Play series. As you can see here, we are in the garage and we have a couple of vehicles here that we have to take care of. One being this oh my. This, what are you? You are a my Vinai, yours, I guess. Maybe? I don't know. The other one here being the Hellcat. And then last but not least we have a main V8. Is it main? Yes, main. So we are going to start with this one here. And as you can see, we really have only an oil filter and the water pump pulley that we have so far discovered. So we do have to run a whole bunch of tests here. I'm gonna run us through the whole process. As you can see, this is a very high quality car, which is also reflected in repair with parts exceeding a minimum condition of 90%. So pretty much the guy wants new parts, period. Obviously for that he has to pay, but if you drive a car like that, I guess it doesn't. So I'm gonna take you guys through the whole process, of finding the parts, and we're gonna employ the methods that would be used in real life as far as I can employ those. Of course, we are limited within the game mechanics. As some of you guys know, and I mean, I do realize the last one that I did was like 5,000 or 6,000 subscribers ago even. So there's a whole bunch of you guys that probably never seen this game and or seen me play it. I do have a mechanic background. This was actually what I learned. That was my trade, was heavy-duty mechanic for trucks and trailers. Obviously, this is a little bit different than car mechanic, but we did, since I got my training in Germany, we all trained together up until the 3rd or 4th year, whether we were car mechanics or truck mechanics. But regardless of that, let's get to the game here. We are 2 minutes 56 seconds in. Let me have one last look. So for engine problems, lack of engine power, replace all filters, play. Okay, we're gonna start out with a setting or getting this vehicle on the test path. Okay, or not. Why not? What's going on? Engine doesn't start. Well, that's unfortunate. All parts should be in here, though. No? Oh, interesting. This is the first time that I can't start an engine. So let's examine... where's my voltmeter? Actually, no, we're gonna start with something different. I can tell already one thing here. The ABS module doesn't look all that great. So... So what I need to do is, we're gonna start out with reading the OBD scanner out. For that we're gonna switch to the examine mode, and then as you can see, F1. And we're gonna read. And that should give us a basic indication of what's going on. So this would be a good indication why we have engine problems. And as you can see, obviously the ignition coil and the spark plugs are a reason that the engine is not running. There are certain truths that never changed from the very first engine or from the very first motorwagen that Mercedes, or that Benz, Mr. Daimler-Benz built. Or Mr. Daimler, I should say, built. And those truths are: an engine needs oxygen. An engine needs some kind of ignition source, be that heat in terms of a diesel engine, where the flash point is so low that you can actually just by compression of the air get the diesel gas mixture, or diesel oxygen, or diesel air mixture, not oxygen, but air mixture to ignite. And if you take any of these three things away, fuel, air, or source of ignition, then the engine will not run. And in this case, as you can see, we have actually two of these three things missing. And one is, of course, the fuel rail, which means we can only, well, as you can see here, so only this one cylinder bank would fire anyway. And then we have the ignition coils, and with the ignition coils failing, of course, it foiled our spark plugs. So now, of course, the ABS module itself is part of the running gear problems that we have. But that gives us a point to start with. What else? So here you can see lack of engine power. There is still one part that we don't have. I'm assuming this part that we don't see with the lack of engine power would be the air filter. Then replace all timing parts, belt tensioner, timing belt, V8, water pump pulley. That we can take care of until we have the vehicle in a condition where we can drive it again. But yeah, so this is where we start out with. I am going to write down quickly the parts, and then I will be right back and we continue. So, with the parts now all written down, I am here on the way to the computer. We're gonna start buying new, well, we need a new ABS module already. We know that one. We need a new air filter. So we're gonna get that one. So with all the parts bought now, we are going ahead here and start take everything apart. The radiator definitely needs to come out as well. Yeah, 25%, that's what I figured. Okay. So let's start. Take the idler roller out. The belt. We need to take all kinds of... We need to take pretty much every idler roller that we have off. Hey guys, with the latest update of this game here, they did introduce something very nice, and that is... I think that one can stay on. Alternator has come off though. Now the timing cover, no, oh boy, the engine heads have come off. Yeah, this is going to be quite extensive in terms of what all we need to take out. Yeah. Completely forgot about this little guy. There's spark plugs. Have to do the same thing over here. There we go. And probably another foiled spark plug right here. Now we can take the cover off. And replace the two timing belts. 1, 2. With a new timing belt, please. Thank you. And on goes the cover. And plenty of idler rollers that have to be replaced. There. New water pump. And crankshaft pulley. So this part of the operation is going to be the easy part. Or the fast part, I should say. The water pump pulley. Here we go. Gears and finally the idler roller. And this part of the operation is done. Now what we're gonna do now that was terrible in terms of how we put them back together. Okay, ignition coils go back in. Coils cover goes on top of that. And let's do the same thing over here. And this time I'm actually gonna employ the correct technique of tightening those up. And it's really not that important for the cover, to be honest with you guys. However, it's good practice. Alright. I always forget this little one there. Let's put new spark plugs in here while we're at it. So with that, all the spark plugs that were foiled are changed. As well as the ignition coils. There we go. Very good. And since we are here in the engine bay right now, we might as well take the ABS module out and replace it. There we go. That's done. So with that, as you can see, we have already quite a bit of things changed here. Ignition port, spark plug, water pump pulley, radiator. Oh yeah, right, radiator. Write that down. Oh. That oil filter I'm not too concerned about. What we're gonna do now is I wanna run another test quickly, which I don't think I can really run that one right now. Maybe. See what the compression test says. Pissed with Conrad. I should have done that right away. I knew it. Now I'm gonna take everything apart again because I have to replace 2 pistons. Alright, so we are now back to the state where I was before before I had to start over. So now we're gonna take the intake throttle off, the throttle body, and take the complete intake out. The thing is, we have to literally tear this engine completely apart. That, of course, will take a moment. Just the one piston that's gone. And now we're gonna take exhaust manifold this side off. And the head as well. And then we should be able to see already which piston on this side is gone. And we can see here it's the piston number. Well, it's a V8, so that means it would be 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, depending on what the manufacturer is. Unfortunately, obviously, this is not something that I cannot replicate because I just, frankly, I don't know. But what we have to do now is we have to get the vehicle up, because I have to take the oil pan off. And then having said that, we need the oil drain. I just think I've seen the oil drain right here. Yes, okay. So that should be perfect. Please. Okay, good. We don't have to pay $100 for cleanup. That's always nice. Now we can take the oil pan off, therefore. But yeah, it's gonna be nice to see how everything pans out. I mean, as I said earlier, the new update included a whole bunch of fixes, but the major thing, I think, was that... but the major thing was definitely the introduction of mod support. So one piston and the second piston. Very good, very good. So that. Okay, so now we are going ahead here and we put the engine back together, starting of course with the piston and conrod. Left as well as right. Then of course the engine heads go on. This. There we go. Now camshaft. Spark plugs. More spark plugs, camshafts. Intake manifold, fuel rails. And manifolds. Might as well replace the fuel filter quickly. Timing belts go on. Timing cover can now come back. Of course, ignition coils go back in. And the coil cover. Throttle body. And it's a cover on this side. Now, of course, that whole ton of pulleys again. And idlers. Water pump. Since we are down here, we might as well change the fuel filter. Now we need to get the starter out. Because we want to get this engine running, and without a good starter there is no engine that will run. Thought it was from the engine bay. Now what? And let's grab a new starter. Everything is more expensive with a V8. And now with this done, our engine should be able to run now. Actually, let's quickly change the air filter. Okay, is no reason that this engine shouldn't run. Let's check the parts list. Still one part that we didn't discover yet. Okay. So let's then run it on the test path. Oh. Radiator fan. Yeah, that would probably help. Belt tensioner? I thought I changed that one. Oh. Haha. Yeah, about that. No oil. Okay, we have oil now in there. So let's see if this engine is running. And with that, guys, looking at the time, I think it is a good time here once we are back from the test path to actually call this episode good. Next episode we will definitely continue to work on this vehicle. Okay. Need some work on the front axle for sure. And there's that. Now we're gonna go ahead here and put down the